It's just sitting there empty most of the year anyway, my sister Amanda declared, waving her perfectly manicured hands around my beach house living room. And it would make the perfect honeymoon spot. I mean, really, Olivia, what better wedding gift could you give your only sister? I sat quietly on my grandmother's old armchair, the one piece of furniture I'd kept when I bought this place 5 years ago. Outside, the waves crashed against the shore, a sound that usually brought me peace. Today it just reminded me of everything I was about to lose. Or rather, everything they thought they could take. Amanda, honey, Mom chimed in, perched on the edge of my sofa like she was afraid the casual beach decor might somehow taint her designer outfit. You're absolutely right. It would be the perfect start to your new life with Bradley. Bradley, my soon-to-be brother-in-law, who is currently prowling around my house like a real estate agent, probably already planning where to put his tacky modern art pieces. The view is incredible, he mused, pressing his hands against my oceanfront windows. We could host amazing parties here. Really network with the right people. I caught my reflection in those same windows, plain dark hair pulled back, simple linen shirt, bare feet. Nothing like Amanda's perfect blowout and Michelle Obama-worthy dress. I'd always been the family disappointment, the one who chose a boring career in urban development over joining Dad's investment firm. Olivia. Mom's voice took on that familiar edge of disapproval. You haven't said anything. This is your chance to finally contribute something meaningful to the family. Contribute. As if the past 15 years of building my own success meant nothing because I'd done it outside their carefully curated world. The house isn't available, I said quietly. Amanda's perfectly plucked eyebrows shot up. What do you mean not available? You're here like what, 3 weekends a year? The rest of the time it's just wasting space. If they only knew how many nights I'd actually spent here over the past year. How many meetings I'd hosted in the local coffee shop down the street. How many plans I'd drawn up while sitting on my deck, watching the sunset over the water. I have plans for it, I replied. Plans. Mom scoffed. Olivia, be reasonable. Your sister is getting married. This is about family duty. Family duty. The same phrase they'd used when they wanted me to give Amanda my college fund because she needed a semester in Paris. The same words they'd thrown at me when they suggested I sell my first condo and give her the money for a down payment on her dream house. I said no. My voice was firmer now. Amanda's face shifted from entitled confidence to something uglier. This is so typical. You've always been selfish, Olivia. Always putting your little projects above family. Little projects? I couldn't help but laugh. You mean my career? My independence? My success that didn't come from Dad's connections? Now girls, Mom started, but Amanda was on a roll. You think you're so special because you made it on your own? She made air quotes with her French manicured fingers. Newsflash, you got lucky with one decent investment. This house is probably the only valuable thing you own, and you won't even share it with family. I stood up slowly, walking to my office. Behind me, I could hear Mom trying to smooth things over, Bradley making comments about beach house renovations like he already owned the place. When I returned, I carried a thick manila envelope. You're right about one thing, Amanda, I said calmly. This house is valuable. More valuable than you know. I pulled out a stack of papers and laid them on the coffee table. Architectural renderings, development permits, contract agreements. What is all this? Mom asked, picking up one of the drawings. The future, I replied. Not just of this house but of this entire beachfront. The rendering showed a luxury resort complex stretching along the coastline. Modern, elegant, environmentally conscious. Everything I'd spent the past year designing with my development team. I don't understand, Amanda said, but her voice had lost some of its confidence. Let me explain it simply. I picked up the demolition order that sat on top of the pile. In 3 months, this house, along with every other property on this block, will be demolished to make way for the Silver Bay Resort and Residences. A $300 million project that I've been developing for the past year. The silence that followed was deafening. You're tearing it down? Amanda's voice cracked. The whole block, I confirmed. My company bought out every property owner over the past 18 months. The papers were finalized last week. Your company? Mom's voice was barely a whisper. I smiled, pulling out the final document, the one with my name listed as CEO of Coastal Development Partners, The firm behind the entire project. Those little projects you mentioned? I said to Amanda. They paid off. Really well. This resort is just the first of 5 we're building along the coast. Bradley, who had been unusually quiet, suddenly found his voice. Wait, CDP. The company that's revolutionizing luxury coastal properties? That's yours. Every square foot, I confirmed. So you see, Amanda, I can't give you the house for your honeymoon. Because in 3 months it won't exist. None of this will. I gestured to the windows where the sun was setting over the water. But hey, once the resort is built, you're welcome to book a room. I hear the honeymoon suite will have an amazing view. The look on their faces, shock, disbelief, and dawning realization, was better than any wedding gift I could have given. Now, I said, gathering up the papers, I have a meeting with my development team in 20 minutes. So unless you'd like to discuss resort membership packages, I suggest we wrap this up. Sometimes the best revenge isn't just saying no. It's showing them exactly what they tried and failed to take from you. The news of my company's development project spread through the family like wildfire. Within days, my phone was flooded with messages from relatives who'd previously only contacted me for favors or to express disappointment. Darling, let's do lunch. We should catch up. About that resort project. I archived them all, focusing instead on the final phase of property acquisitions. The demolition notices had gone out, and my office was buzzing with activity when Amanda made her next appearance. Miss Bennett. My assistant Jack poked his head in. Your sister's here. Says it's urgent. I looked up from the architectural plans spread across my desk. The corner office of CDP's headquarters offered a stunning view of the city, but right now, all I could see was Amanda's reflection in the glass, standing in my doorway in what appeared to be her most expensive outfit. Olivia, she started, her voice dripping with practiced sweetness. We need to talk. I'm in the middle of something, I replied, not looking up from the plans. It's about the resort. She sat down uninvited, crossing her legs carefully. Bradley and I have been thinking. Dangerous habit, I murmured, still focused on my work. We want to invest. Now that got my attention. I finally looked at her, taking in the desperate gleam in her eyes. Invest. Yes. Bradley's father has connections in real estate. We could bring in additional funding, make it a family project. Her smile was brittle. After all, blood is thicker than water, right? I leaned back in my chair, studying her. Interesting. And this sudden desire to invest. It wouldn't have anything to do with Bradley's development company losing the bid on the North Shore project last month. Her smile faltered. How did you know? I pulled up a file on my computer. Amanda, I make it my business to know everything about potential competitors, including the fact that Bradley's father's company is 3 failed projects away from bankruptcy. That's private information. Not when it's public record. I turned my screen to show her the financial reports. Your future father-in-law has been trying to arrange a meeting with me for weeks. I assume this is his latest attempt. The facade cracked. You don't understand. Bradley's family, they need this. If they don't land a major project soon, then maybe Bradley should have thought about that before trying to claim my beach house as his personal party venue. I stood up, walking to the window. Or before mocking my little career at your engagement party. That was months ago. People change. No, I said quietly. People reveal who they really are. The only thing that's changed is that now you know I'm not the family failure you can push around anymore. A knock at the door interrupted us. Jack appeared with a stack of contracts. The final demolition paperwork needs your signature, Ms. Bennett. Thank you, Jack. I took the papers, then turned back to Amanda. You should go. I have a company to run. But Amanda wasn't done. She stood up, tears threatening to ruin her perfect makeup. Mom was right about you. You're cold. Heartless. This isn't just about Bradley's family. What about the people who live in those beach houses? The families you're displacing. I smiled, sliding a document across my desk. You mean the families we provided luxury relocation packages for? The ones who received above-market value for their properties plus moving expenses? The ones who get first choice of units in the new resort residences. She stared at the paper, which detailed the generous compensation packages my company had provided. Unlike some people, I continued. I don't build my success by stepping on others. Every property owner on that beach agreed to sell because we made it worth their while. We're creating jobs, improving the local economy, and doing it all sustainably. But what about memories? History? That beach house was Grandma's. And Grandma was a businesswoman who understood value, I replied. She's the one who taught me to see potential where others saw only sentiment. To build something bigger than myself. I walked to the door holding it open. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have a meeting with actual investors. People who see me as more than just a convenient resource to exploit. As Amanda walked out, she turned back one last time. The wedding is in 2 months. Right before the demolition. I still hope you'll come. I looked at her steadily. I'll be there. But not for the reasons you think. After she left, I pulled up the demolition schedule on my computer. The date was carefully chosen, one day after Amanda's wedding. One final gift to the sister who never appreciated what family really meant. Because sometimes the best lessons come from watching your past get torn down to make way for your future. Amanda's wedding day arrived with all the pomp and circumstance our family was known for. The country club was decorated within an inch of its life, champagne flowed freely, and everyone who was anyone in our social circle was there to witness the perfect union. I sat quietly in the back during the ceremony, dressed in a simple but elegant navy suit. Not the pastel monstrosity Amanda had originally chosen for her bridesmaids before quietly uninviting me from the wedding party. My laptop was in my car, files ready for tomorrow's demolition kickoff, but for now I watched the spectacle unfold. Isn't it wonderful? Mom whispered to her friend in the row ahead of me. Bradley's father is arranging a surprise announcement at the reception. Something about a major business collaboration. I smiled to myself, knowing exactly what that surprise would be. Bradley's father had been dropping hints all month about a supposed partnership with CDP, trying to boost his company's failing stock prices. He'd never actually spoken to me or my board, but that hadn't stopped him from implying otherwise. The reception was held in the club's grand ballroom, with floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the ocean. The same ocean where, in less than 24 hours, my cruise would begin transforming the coastline. Ladies and gentlemen, Bradley's father stood up, tapping his glass. I have an exciting announcement to make. The room quieted. Amanda beamed, clearly in on whatever scheme they'd cooked up. I took a slow sip of champagne and waited. As many of you know, our family's company has been a leader in development for generations. Today, I'm thrilled to announce our newest venture, a partnership with Coastal Development Partners for the new Silver Bay Resort. Applause broke out. Amanda shot me a triumphant look from the head table. I simply checked my watch and stood up. Actually, I said, my voice carrying across the suddenly quiet room, I have an announcement of my own. All eyes turned to me. Mom's face went pale. Since Mr. Harrison has brought up the Silver Bay project, I should probably mention that demolition begins tomorrow at 9 a.m. sharp. And CDP has no partners in this venture. Never did, never will. The silence was deafening. But you can't. Bradley's father sputtered. We announced. You announced a lie, I corrected calmly. One that could be considered stock manipulation, given your company's public trading status. My lawyers will be in touch about that, by the way. Amanda stood up, her white dress rustling. You're ruining my wedding. No, Amanda. You tried to use your wedding to manipulate a business deal. There's a difference. I picked up my purse. The demolition crews are already in position. In fact, I pulled up a live feed on my phone and projected it onto the ballroom's display screen. The beach houses were visible, including my old one with construction equipment ready and waiting. Consider it my wedding gift to you, front row seats to watch your last attempt at exploiting me get demolished. Bradley's father was frantically working his phone, probably trying to contact his lawyers. Several guests were already leaving, no doubt rushing to dump their shares in his company before the market opened tomorrow. You heartless witch, Amanda hissed, tears streaking her perfect makeup. This was supposed to be my perfect day. And it still can be, I replied softly. Just not the way you planned. Sometimes perfect moments come from watching karma unfold. I walked to the door, then turned back one last time. Oh, and Mom? About that family duty you're so fond of mentioning? My duty was to show you all that success built on manipulation never lasts. Consider that lesson my contribution to the family legacy. The next morning I stood on the temporary platform we'd erected on the beach, surrounded by my actual business partners, local officials and media. The demolition countdown began as the sun rose over the water. My phone buzzed with a message from Amanda. "I hope you're happy destroying our childhood memories." I typed back, "Not destroying. Building something better. That's what real success looks like." As the first building came down, marking the beginning of the Silver Bay Resort project, I thought about Grandma. She'd left me that beach house not because she wanted it preserved forever, but because she knew I'd see its true potential. "Sometimes," she used to say, "you have to tear down the small dreams to build the big ones." The crowd cheered as the demolition continued. My project manager handed me the ceremonial hard hat and I smiled for the cameras. Tomorrow the headlines would read, "CDP begins revolutionary coastal development, not family drama ruins society wedding." Because in the end, success isn't about what you tear down. It's about what you build in its place. And sometimes, the best foundation is built on the rubble of other people's expectations. 3 years later, I stood in the penthouse suite of the Silver Bay Resort, watching another sunset over the ocean. The property had exceeded all projections, becoming the most sought-after destination on the coast. A familiar face appeared in the reflection behind me, Amanda, looking older and slightly less polished. "Your assistant said I'd find you here," she said quietly. "Here to demand another wedding gift?" I asked, not turning around. "I heard about your divorce." "No," she sighed. "I came to say you were right. About everything. Bradley, his father, the way our family operated. I get it now." I turned to face her. "Do you? The resort, it's incredible. You didn't just build a hotel, you created something that actually helps people. Jobs, tourism, environmental protections." She gestured to the view. "It's so much better than a beach house for one family's ego." I smiled, remembering Grandma's words about small dreams and big ones. "There's a junior executive position opening in our community relations department," I said carefully. "If you're interested in learning how to build something real." Her eyes widened. "You'd give me a chance? After everything?" "Not give. Offer. You'd have to earn it just like everyone else." She nodded slowly. "I'd like that. To earn something for once." As we stood watching the sunset, I realized some demolitions make way for more than just new buildings. Sometimes they make space for new beginnings.